So to walk us through with the Alllights Village experience, how it was impacted the people of Nueva Ecija, I would like to introduce to you the Global Peace Foundation's program manager or director for the Alllights Village in the Philippines. All right. Miss Joy Florentino Remigio here, our next speaker, grew up in a poor but good family, and her dream is to alleviate poverty through education and projects to support sustainable livelihoods. A graduate in industrial education, she has served as a lecturer, guidance counselor, volunteer, and human resource manager, educator, and community organizer. Perfect fit for as a program manager of Alllights Village. So let us welcome Ms. Joy Florentino Remigio to share to us the impact of the Alllights Village in the Philippines.
Thank you, Sir Don. Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. Are you sleepy? Have you ever experienced living in the darkness due to blackout? How about the real experience of living in a community or a village without electricity? Yeah, I was one among those whom I am referring to. I grew up in a remote, near the mountain, crossing many rivers. That's why electricity cannot reach my place at that time. Until I reached 25 years old, that electricity can come to my area. So I am happy to report or to share with you what is happening in Alllights Village Project in the Philippines. I guess this project is very timely for my country, as the President Aquino once said that renewable energy is very vital for development of my nation, of Philippines per se. And for your information, there are more than 30,000 sitios or small villages that are unenergized. Timely that Global Peace Foundation Korea and Global Peace Foundation Philippines married for this program, the Alllights Village Project. As we all know, there are a lot of issues or concerns needed to be addressed in the entire world that we are living in, like the absence of electricity. There are 1.9 billion people suffering or living in such areas. Another is the effect, health problem, environment problem, and illiteracy or problem with regards to education. So I believe all of us here right now are pretty much concerned of how to contribute, how to take part in the solution of all these problems of the world that we are living in. I guess Dr. Yan Jin Moon's vision of one family under God, this is the main point of why I am so much inspired and committed despite the hardships and difficulties in handling this program. I'll tell you later on. However, let us really not just watch, rather let us take part in solving these issues, since we came from different parts of the world. And I guess with the presence of Alllights Village Project, we can address, we can add solution to what initiative our government is doing in every aspect that these issues or concerns or problems are existing. So Alllights Village Project, Alllights Village, it's not just a project, but a movement to build a model villages embodying the vision of one family under God. So therefore, this is a substantive peace activities, or we say the flagship program of Global Peace Foundation, carrying out in order to build model communities. Yeah, it's very challenging because as our master planner and creator of Alllights Village program, Dr. David Yu, mentioned, this is just a baby project since it's just more than a year. However, we can see the great potential and clear roadmap how Alllights Village program can really help a nation in solving many or various issues and concerns. Yeah, ideally, a village, no, there should be a harmonious existence of human being and its environment. And people living in that village should really practice one family under God values by co-sharing, coexistence, and stewardship. The villagers must achieve a sustainable development. To report, there are 2,377 families benefited from this Alllights Village project initiated by GPF Korea in partnership with GPF Philippines and the rest of other partners that we have. We started this in 2011 at the municipality of Palembang, Sultan Kudarat in Mindanao. Yet, indeed, our partners from Korea would like to be immersed in the community. So the issue in Mindanao is security for our partners. So there are 120 families recipient. In 2011 December, we proceed to Sarangani, the province of Manny Pacquiao, if you know him, benefiting 100 families. So after seeing the situation of Mindanao, though it is really very, Mindanao is much more qualified to receive Alllights Village project because the entire more than 30,000 villages which are unenergized in the Philippines, majority are located in Mindanao. Yet, we would like to create a model case, not just distribution of solar lantern, as Dr. David you mentioned, but a community development program that can spread or expand to the rest of the Philippines. So it's not easy to look for an area to pilot that they need also to counterpart or to invest, aside from the investment of GPF Korea, from the effort of GPF Philippines, that government or local government must invest too. However, it was accepted by the province of Nueva Ecija, aside from many other provinces I have tried to propose for this program. So the province of Nueva Ecija accepted the Alllights Village program to be implemented in the unenergized villages. And while we are developing our pilot villages in Nueva Ecija, so there is, with the goodness of Cardinal Rosales, who is really helping us as the patron of Alllights Village, and with the cooperation and support as well of the local government of other two provinces in southern part of Luzon. That is Laguna and Batangas. So we expanded Alllights Village program in those areas. Nueva Ecija is having 13 Alllights villages. Majority of this were supported by Korea. And due to the initiative of Cardinal Rosales and GPF Philippines and Korea, we started inviting or encouraging local donors or sponsors to really help and support our own fellow men in this country. That's why we could arrive having three Alllights villages named after these local donors, aside from our Korean partners. Anyway, just to inform you, this is how I work in order to organize the Alllights Village projects in the Philippines. Yeah, the letter of intent to our partners, and then after the acceptance, it's the coordination meeting with the head of the city down to the planning office and other agencies that will be involving in the program, like the DSWD, the Department of Agriculture, and the Department of Energy. So, as you know, all of these villages which are unenergized are really far. They are far-flung sitios or villages, like 10 kilometers away from the downtown or the barangay proper of a certain place. Like the first Alllights Village, I was really, when I ocular the area, I have to validate whether it will be qualified for the program. So there is no means of transportation that is existing except if you own a motorcycle or if you have your own carabao, something like this. So since I have to ocular and I have to validate, so I don't bring any car at all. So I have to take a walk. So that's how this preparation for the social preparation is going on. So mapping in order to check the situation of every family. We go house to house and we give orientation about Global Peace Foundation and about Alllights Village Project. We organize the village. If they don't have that set of officers that is really managing or organizing any activity in the area, we have to have focus group discussion to know the need of the community and to plan for whatever future program or project. So brotherhood and sisterhood ceremony is much implemented by the time our Korean brothers and sisters are coming to the Philippines in adopting a certain community. Yeah, these are like the villages in, as you can see this picture, the area is flooded, you know. I just learned, when I checked, it was dry. But when the project started, it's flooded already. And these people, there are 7 to 8 families living 6 months of a year. They are living on top of the water, on top of the water, in a flooded area like this. So this is the process. When we install the solar street lamps, the local government or village people will provide the steel posts. Of course, education is the cornerstone of their development. Majority of people in the villages are really uneducated. So therefore, GPF Philippines underwent a training from the Department of Education in order to become an accredited service provider of alternative learning system, or we call the non-formal education, so that we can reach and educate our brothers and sisters in Alllights villages. So the Department of Education provides teachers, while GPF Korea donates modules. So in order to implement this program in the village. So these are the teachers of Alllights villages. And of course, it is very important for our stakeholders and partners to be at the same page with us in order to drive the development of the community. So all of our stakeholders are attending or having a quarterly capability building workshop so that we can know what to improve and develop in the community. So in having these facilities, it's teamwork between donors and villagers to make it happen. So before economic development, we train the officers of Alllights villages to undergo the formation of their own cooperative, because I believe this is one good entry point where more partners can come in to really invest in Alllights villages. So they go through the training of the government before we introduce the livelihood projects or program for their economic development. Yeah, this is what our Dr. David Yu was explaining a while ago. There is vermicomposting or vermiculture livelihood project in the 4th Alllights village. In the 1st and 5th Alllights village is goat farming. And soon next year, we will start with the dairy product livelihood project. Yeah, of course, it is important for evaluation and monitoring from us and from the rest of our partners in order that we can really develop and improve the situation and condition of our Alllights villages. Yeah, these are other projects. The water purifier, this is a partnership housing project by the local government, by the national government, which is the community mortgage program, giving loan to our Alllights village families, the Habitat Philippines, GPF Philippines, and GPF Korea. Yeah, in the province of Nueva Ecija, it is very important to inform everyone that due to this Alllights Village program, we gain the trust of the parliamentarians in the local area. So therefore, they have really respected Global Peace Foundation. And they passed a resolution accrediting Global Peace Foundation and Alllights Village program to pursue this public-private partnership. Beginning, of course, for next year, we still have to lay down all our clear plans. But I have received proclamation or declaration from the governor that by 2015, GPF is entitled or will be very instrumental in helping different towns or cities of the province where the funding will pass through the Global Peace Foundation and then implement this to the different villages or cities and municipalities. So yeah, the Department of Education assess our Alllights Village impact to the formal education of the children living in the Alllights villages, that all these children increase in their respective grades. And so with the national achievement tests from 63% to 85% rate that they have achieved. So I believe there is nothing impossible if we all agree that we must live and we must step forward as one family under God. Thank you.
A lot of rich content by all of the speakers, but just one thing that I'd like to highlight, and this is I think the important contribution that the Global Peace Foundation is making to economic development and or a holistic approach to human development. You know, in the world of economic development, there's an increasing recognition that there is a link between cultural values as opposed to self-interest. And this is important because most of the liberal economics is based upon the idea that if you give people enough freedom and they're able to pursue their self-interest, that's what leads to economic growth. But many economists today have come to argue that the economic policies based on this understanding of just increasing freedom for self-interest produces the same result, regardless of the cultural values. However, the economic success of Asia on one hand and the failure of economic development in Africa on the other hand are leading to serious consideration of the link between cultural values and economic growth. It's gradually becoming recognized that self-interest actually works against community development, since a healthy community depends upon the individual considering the needs of the whole. And again, this is where I think the Global Peace Foundation's emphasis on the family is important. The family is the model for the community, a group of people who place the benefit of the whole above narrow self-interest. In a vibrant community, individuals and families recognize the value of contributing to the greater good of the community. And I think this is very well demonstrated in the model that's provided by the Alllights Village program.